I got a ton of respect for Coach Young, as I told you guys the other day in the press conference. He was good friends with my mentor, Skip Prosser. Reminds me a lot of him. Just such a high character guy, hilarious, one of the funniest coaches in the country, one of the funniest people I know. And then just an extraordinary coach, tactician. Just have a lot of respect for him. So we're fortunate to get the win tonight. And hey, the biggest thing I want to talk about in my pre-statement is 15,000 people, or whatever it was, huge crowd, with all this weather. You know, I challenged everybody in my press conference the other day that we really needed you, and you know, Card Nation came out strong. People that are listening to this, or that radio, whatever it is, drive safe. My parents are on their way up I-71 to Cincinnati, but it just means a lot that they came out and they had a major effect in the game.
Questions for Coach Kelsey? Brooks?
On Thursday, you talked about, Kel being kind of held out of certain parts of practice and not practicing a full practice. Like, after saying that, like, do you kind of expect him to come out and be able to just put up 20-6 in his first game back, and since that December 13th?
I mean, that kid, nothing surprises me. We built him up. So the first couple days of the week, because we had a long week off, he didn't practice a little more. Monday this amount, Tuesday this amount, and then by the end of the week, he was going full go. And he looked great, and he played great. So if you ask me, was I surprised? Nothing surprised me with that kid. Unbelievably talented. And he just played to exhaustion today. 28 minutes. I just remember a couple times he came over and just these blotches on his face, and I'm like, "You need one?" And he never asked to come out of the game. He goes, "Coach, I need one." So got him out before the media, but he made big time plays for us. It was great to see him back out there again. I know his teammates were happy to have him back out there too.
Coach, the biggest thing that I noticed about having Michael back out there, it seemed like he was almost like a shot of energy for the team. The pace and the tempo really seemed to kick up with him out there, either with pushing the ball himself, advanced passes, looking up the court. It really felt like he almost forced the rest of the team to move a lot quicker. Can you just kind of talk about the pace?
Well, we always say, Skip Prosser used to say all the time, it begins at the beginning. It begins at the beginning. The beginning is the point guard. That's the catalyst. That's and that's who he is. That's in his DNA. Really good point guards make people around him better, and that's what he did tonight. He did a great job, and he guarded. He played really hard.
Coach, as soon as you felt that three go in after Michael came back on the court, so I mean, what were you thinking in that moment?
When his first one went in,
yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Like I said, he just has that it about him and doesn't shock me. To come out of the game, boom, and just crowd erupts that way. It was pretty cool.
No.
And Pat, you guys tonight found a lot of success on straight line drives to the rim, especially in transition. Was that a matchup thing with Virginia Tech? Was it because Michael was back? What allowed you guys to have as much success as you did in this department? And is that something you can harness and replicate moving forward?
Paint force is huge with us. Touching the paint. I think at halftime, it was the most paint touches we had in a half. In that first half, and then they force you to have paint poise when you get there. We talked about so much paint poise because they help heavy, they flock to penetration, and then number one is a pogo stick man. I mean, he's as long as athletic. He looks like a first-team All-Pro NFL wide receiver. But he just gets off the floor and blocked a couple with his armpits. So it's important that you play with poise. And I thought we did that. Played off two, got to our penetration spots, but yeah, I mean that's always an emphasis. But it was even more tonight. We wanted to put foul pressure on them.
Yeah, just the first half defense, I thought was really good. You held them to 0.6 points per possession.
Yeah.
Just, what were some of the keys for you all there getting off to a good start on defense?
Yeah. So the second half wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. And you credit them. Let me say that they made shot after shot after shot after shot. And I'll watch it and I'll say, close out harder, take away rhythm. But like 13, for instance, and he's shooting mid-20s from the three at like 20% rate or volume. He was just reining in. You got to adjust. That's not what he does, but he's feeling it right now. So we got to close out a little bit harder. 11's a good three-point shooter, but he's driving first. He reined in a bunch of them. I mean, it was like, and here's what I'll say. There's been times this year, I don't think our defense was bad. Again, I got to watch the tape. I thought they made a lot of tough shots. Everything seemed to go in. And what can happen, and what has happened with us sometimes when that happened, it affects us on the other end. You know, sometimes our offense affects our defense, and it did. Our guys continued to play in rhythm, continued to attack, didn't get tight when they started making shots and went on a run, just stuck with it, stayed consistent. And I just liked how they responded. Made big plays at the end of the game when we needed to.
Tom?
Coach, I guess you were kind of forced into it with no Kanai and no Kaysen. Did you like what you saw playing the two bigs together as much as you did?
Yeah, that's been good. It was good for us at Pitt as well. I thought those guys all gave us really good contributions. I think Sonny had a double-double, which is good. I mean, he's just so workmanlike, man. You look at his, you don't run a lot of plays for him, but he's a double-figure guy almost every single night, 6 offensive rebounds. You know, I thought Zoo came in and just gave us some toughness, some physicality. He had bad luck on that layup around the rim. I mean, that was just like the basketball gods were against him on that one. But I thought he gave us some good energy, and you know, Ali did what Ali does.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know how much you know about like your all's plans for getting to Duke for that game on Monday, but just like, you know, like what's kind of like the options here, I guess, like with this.
I don't
storm
know.
going on?
I just told our guys, like a big formula in our program, you guys have heard me say this before, and it sounds like coach speak, but I'm a coach, so I speak like a coach, and that's just who I am. I believe everything I say with my heart. So we have this thing called E plus R equals O, events plus response equals outcome, and there's gonna be a bunch of E's. As of right now, we can't get out tomorrow. We're flying day a game. Awesome. Let's figure it out. You know? When do you ever do that? I'm going back to my Winthrop days, man. Big South. Drive 5 hours to Radford, eat some sandwiches on the bus on the way there for pregame meal, play the game, and drive back. So, been there, done that. So we'll figure it out. And I don't know. You know, weather and injuries I always talk about. I can't control either one of those. We'll see how this thing all plays out. But looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, we all know how good Duke is. It should be a big-time college basketball game.
Coach, I noticed that out of one of the timeouts in the second half, it looked like you went to a bit of like a 1-3-1 matchup zone. So I saw that, and I know you don't talk too much about the zone, but I noticed that. Is that something you all have practiced? Was that a wrinkle just for this game, or is that something that maybe you're trying to implement a little bit?
We work on it. We work on it a little bit, not a lot, but just as a little change of pace. Like, you know, Coach Young knows me as well as anybody. Like, I've known him for a long, long time. So the last thing that you would ever expect is us to get a zone out of a timeout, and we were just like, why not? Because that dude can draw some stuff up now. He's like the mad scientist. So we did it, and they threw a lob and missed it, and I'm 1 for 1 on zones.
Alyssa? Coach, what was that conversation like with Michael whenever you guys decided, you know, he was ready to go? I guess just what were the deciding factors?
Yeah, we just were going to see how the week went, you know, and then as we got to the end of the week and he and I met, he's like, man, Coach, I'm feeling great. I'm ready. Let's go. We're 20-6. Pretty good player. I was proud of him. It's been a tough stretch for him. Been wanting to be out there so bad, and proud of how he's handled it. Very professional and all that. It's great to have him back.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.